Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Cordray, in reading your report, I noticed in here that when you were filling, that the positions you're filling, and it had a breakdown of all the different groups that you were hiring, there's nothing in there that indicates the breakout of people who actually have some real-world experience with regards to financial services. Can you tell me, are you hiring people that have got some real-world experience, actually worked in a bank or at a credit union or some sort of a payday loan place that actually know that unintended consequences of a rule or law that is proposed by you and the enforcement of it, how it all fits together?
Congressman, it's a good question. It would be a pretty poor performance by me if the answer to the question was no, we're not. In fact, we are. We have a number of people who've come to the Bureau, I'm pleased to say, who have come not from other federal agencies or not from state government or not from the public sector at all, but from private sector entities, often from banks or other financial institutions.
Do you have a number off the top of your head, percentage-wise, what it would be?
I don't have a number, but it's many.
Could I get that number
including the Deputy Director of the Bureau, who worked in various capacities at Deutsche Bank, at McKinsey, at Capital One, and has intimate knowledge of the financial markets.
Okay. Could I get that number from you, staff?
Sure, we'd be happy to provide that.
Appreciate it. With regards to that, I know that there's a movement. I've seen that some folks are trying to have Mr. Martin Eakes, who's Chief Executive Officer of the Center for Responsible Lending. Do you know Mr. Eakes by any chance?
I have not met him, but I've heard quite a bit about him.
Okay. They're trying to recommend him, I believe, for a position with your agency. Are you considering that at all?
That's news to me, sir.
Okay. I'm just curious. The reason I ask is because he's been rather outspoken with regards to his opinion of oversight with regards to the financial services industry. In fact, in 2010 at Duke University, Fuqua School of Business, he made a statement that says, we've hired 50 lawyers, PhDs, and MBAs to basically terrorize the financial services industry. That gives me great pause whenever somebody like that is being recommended to your agency. If they have the attitude going in that they're there to terrorize the industry that they have oversight over. What's your reaction to that quote?
I don't have any particular reaction. I'm not familiar with the quote.
Does that sound like somebody you'd be interested in hiring?
With everybody we think about hiring, we would want to look at the full picture. We want a range of viewpoints. But look, we're looking for a responsible, balanced perspective on the problems we're facing. And frankly, whether we hire someone or not, and again, this particular situation that you raise is news to me, we're getting input on broad basis from people who have a lot of different perspectives, some of whom dislike the banks, some of whom love the banks, and we want to get all that perspective and filter that in as we figure out how to proceed on some of these hard issues.
Well, you made in your opening testimony the comment that you believed that everybody needs some even-handed oversight, and I think that if you're true to your words there, I would think that Mr. Eakes would have a little difficulty trying to gain employment with your agency, but we'll
I think
see how
the premise of the question is mistaken, but
another question for you with regards to, basically you've got rulemaking authority as well as enforcement authority, and with regards to rulemaking, do you do any cost-benefit analysis on the rules you propose?
We make strenuous efforts to, as our statute tells us, to assess the benefits, costs, and impacts of each and every rule that we would consider adopting. Yes.
Okay, is that information public? Is that something we get our hands on if?
It is part of every rulemaking, and it is typically published as part of the rulemaking. So I think there's nothing hidden about it, and it's something that courts will review carefully when they look at finished product by us. And so it's something that not only do we have every reason to do and do carefully, but also it makes common sense. So.
This is for instance, a rule of thumb, or maybe you get your thoughts on it. When you propose a rule and you get a cost-benefit analysis showing that it's going to cost 10 times more than the benefit it's going to return, is that something that alarms you? Is that something that you believe probably is not worthwhile pursuing?
That would be of concern to me, and it should be, yes.
Okay. Just give me just a quick overview here. I noticed also in your statement you said that you've been hearing from thousands of Americans about what works and what does not work. Just what's working and what's not working from the things you've heard from them.
I think there's a lot of Americans who still feel that they have trouble making their voices heard when they're on the other side of the table in some of these transactions, or if the transaction doesn't work out and they're now dealing with a mortgage servicer, a debt collector, or someone down the road. Again, I'm sure it's not anything different from what you hear every day from your constituents who sometimes are at their wits' end and coping with situations where they just would like to know somebody standing on their side and helping them. I know you do that. We try to do that as well, and we're happy to work with you to do that together.
Appreciate your testimony, Mr. Carter. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. The committee will stand